Alrighty, let me make sure that we have all of the right things going on. I think we do. We are live, y'all. It's been a hot minute again. With internet issues last week, we were not able to stream, and that was obviously super disappointing. Thank you guys all for hanging in there, and I don't just mean the people watching at home. Thank you, you five, for sticking around while Xfinity is trying to figure out what's going on with it. This stream is definitely not brought to you by Xfinity. But in any case, as we're getting back into it, I am excited. These people are level 11 now. These people have succeeded in something that every DM is either afraid or absolutely just looking forward to, afraid of or looking forward to. And that is, of course, being able to completely sidestep something in the adventure. You know, the obvious way that you're supposed to play this, the thing that when you look at, you're like, oh, clearly this is how you're supposed to play the adventure correctly, is go kick some ass, slay Sidon, whatever else, right? But these folks have done the thing, the little sprinklings of, hey, by the way, did you realize that you could also just talk to people and try to figure it out? And they did it. And with that, they were able to have a summit. But I'll get into the recap in a second here. I just wanted to say, as a DM, I am so happy and at the same time, yes, overloaded, because it also completely rewrote the adventure, and I had to kind of like scramble for trying to make it work, but it's so worth it, because now more than ever it is these 5 people's story rather than me just telling a story at them, and that's what I live for. So I'm super excited about that. That's it from me, though. I'm excited to get into this recap and actually play some D&D. Do you guys have anything that you wanted to shout out, aside from the fact that Alex is very sad that he cannot keep making Taylor Swift clones through the beta version of Midjourney, which, by the way, yeah, if you haven't noticed that's the one thing from the Nerverse I would shout out. Holy crap, that AI bot has absolutely taken off. If you haven't checked it out yet, definitely go to the Midjourney Discord. It is, what that thing can do is bananas. We, last week while we were off stream, I asked each one of them, like, who would you cast for your characters? And they give me, why don't we do this really quick before we dive in? Starting with, going down the line that you can see online as well. Brissa, Rhodas, Yanni, E63, and then Lyra. Who did you cast for your character? What actor or actress?
Mine was Taylor Swift, obviously. What? I know, shocker. What? But yeah, so it came out really well, Spent a lot of time doing it. A lot of time.
How many variations did you make?
I don't even know. It was a lot. Every now and then I'd just like pull up my phone and be like, oh, variation of that, and then come back to it, a few hours, and yeah.
That's fair. Up next, Brian, who did you end up casting for Rhodas?
I picked Joel Edgerton.
I really liked him for that. That was like.
He played opposite Tom Hardy. Pretty good.
And he has kind of like I don't know how to describe his face. It's kind of sad, but like in a severe way. Doesn't he also play, no spoilers, I think this is like in the first episode, doesn't he play Luke's uncle in the new
Star Wars?
Yeah.
And if you look in Rhodas's like backstory or something, whatever I read originally, it says he looks like pretty worried. He like regularly appears worried, and I think that Joel Edgerton, he carries that kind of energy.
Yeah.
You were gonna say that in Rhodas's backstory, his idol is Joel Edgerton.
He wants to be an actor when he grows up.
Yeah. Alrighty. Thank you for that, Damon. Up next, who did you end up casting?
I just want to say I would have cast
Gaten.
I just forgot his name. Kevin Nash.
Kevin Nash.
Because he's 6'10". But
yeah.
But the only person that came to mind for Yanni was Gaten. I can never say his last name right because I don't do Italian well, but Gaten Mazzarano, or however he says it, from Stranger Things, plays Dusty. I think you would be perfect.
Yeah, you would be kind of perfect. All right, Marissa, who did you end up casting?
I picked Frances Pugh. I hope I'm saying her name right.
And where do we know her from?
Widow, Black Widow. Black Widow, final answer. Yes, and is she not also in something else too? Is she not in, starts with an S and ends with the Wars? Is she in that?
Is she in Star Wars now?
No.
No, I don't think. But she's in that.
No,
new,
she's not the.
She's
She's
that
in
new
Hawkeye,
movie.
technically. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, sure, yeah, but that is ass.
Who are you guys talking about?
She's in that
Yelena?
new movie. It's gonna come out. I saw the previews
She
a
was
couple
in
different times.
Midsummer. She was in.
So good. Midsummer's so good. Also, her first name is Florence, but I wasn't gonna say anything.
Wait, what did I say?
Francis.
It's Francis now.
I call her Francis.
Sorry, Florence. Your
Well,
name is
close.
Francis now.
Dang.
All right.
Sorry.
I don't remember what else she's been in aside from Black Widow and Midsummer.
She's gonna be in a big movie with Chris Evans. Is that who's the Chris in the D&D movie?
Chris
Oh,
Pine.
Pine.
Yeah.
She's gonna be in a movie with Chris Pine, like an actual like thriller. So it'll be interesting. It's
They already
looking
did
really
one together that was about like he played Robert the Bruce of Scotland, and she was his wife. It was on Netflix. I can't remember the name of it.
Oh.
That was the first thing I think I saw her in.
Oh, I think I watched that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Tyler, who did you end up casting for Lyra?
I picked not an actor or actress. I picked Amy Lee, a musician.
And I think actually that art turned out really well. I really liked it. For those of you polyhedrons watching right now, it's all in the Twitch sub channel that we have for that. I threw them in there. Now I want to take that Photoshop neural filter that somebody shouted out though and overlay that, because I ended up doing that for the Taylor Swift clone V537, and it turned out pretty well actually. It's like disturbingly well. My God, what technology can do now. Anyways, let's delve back in. I'm excited. It's a little bit to work through as far as the recap goes, but I think when it comes down to it, previously on the Light of Thylea playing Odyssey of the Dragonlords, y'all broke the wheel. You guys were supposed to kill everything and just win D&D. But instead you chose to win D&D by making it your own. We all know that Estrella, of course, is related to the, Titans, the Ur-gods of Thylea. The Titan blood flows through her veins and manifested itself originally in a very natural way, the divine flowing directly out of the land and into her powers. But more recently, after you swore your fealty to the Fates, that power obviously had been cut off, but that doesn't change the potentiality within your blood. You guys, over a long period of time, had of course conversed with the Titans on occasion, and on one occasion, we had Sidon actually reach out to you, Estrella, and say, join my side. We will crush these invaders, these colonizers, together. But Estrella, having grown up with maybe the civilization, the splendor of having a relative peace, being a child of peace times, of the Oath of Peace, you have understood, probably more so than many others, that war is not a luxury. War is a terrible, terrible blight, and will continue to do exactly that, blight the land. And therefore, you wanted peace. You wanted the party to try and reach out. Maybe the prophecy saying that it would bring an end to the hostilities doesn't mean that it is the last war fought between the Fae and settler races, but rather, this is going to be the final peace between them. That every conflict that might come thereafter is motivated by individual nations and people making choices, worshipping one god or another, but not by the gods fought against one another over some kind of ideal of which race should own Thylea, but rather, let's all come together. So, you guys traveled to Mitros. Rhodus recovered from the assault upon his ability to regain not just his hit points, but really his sanity whenever he took a long rest. And you're able to recover from that, though you all know that once you leave the Golden Dome over Mitros, Rhodus once again will face those assaults against his mind. Of course, you guys also not so much witnessed, but were told that Brissa had been whisked away by a surreptitiously placed, very appealing to her lightning spear that instead teleported her to some kind of a throne room. There she got to meet the Titans face to face. But instead of being smote, Sidon ended up sending her back after hearing her out about the proffering of a peace summit, agreeing only if you guys were able to get the people of Astoria and Mitros to contribute to reparations, to try to make whole the people, especially the Gigans, the Cyclopean race that once was the high culture of Thylea and then was wiped out by Estor Archelander, King of Castus's great-great-granddaddy. No. You prepared? Yanni put his nose in the books. Lyra traveled to Astoria with Rhodus, and Estrella and Brissa tried to drum up support in Mitros. A significant amount of coin was raised. A festival denouncing Estor Archelander, arguably one of the most effective and infamous Dragonlords. You guys met in the Grand Arena atop Mount Vulcan. You got to meet not only Sidon face to face, truly for the first time as the entirety of the Light of Thylea, but you also got to meet Thaleos and Chalcia, the two offspring of Sidon. Apparently children not of only him, but also of Lutheria, sister and wife. You learned that Thaleos is a little bit more of a hothead, something that he seemed to match in energy. The vibe was very similar between him and Pitor, let's put it that way. Chalcia, on the other hand, was more even-headed, more calculating, more reasonable, if you will, much more akin to her father. You are left having agreed to a potential option of a term. That Sidon would be willing to come to terms if Mitros and Astoria were to prove that they would be willing to strike out against their own, against the city that has been a thorn in Mitros' side for decades, nigh on a century. Eresia, the city of origin for Yanni, the streets in which he grew up. A city that is godless, atheistic, has relied on its ingenuity and war machines, has become the focus of this potential alliance and peace between the Titans and the gods. Pitor was not impressed with this and refused to hear this, flying off in a rage. Vulcan seemed to be more focused on wanting to get revenge and maybe some violence against Sidon than actually trying to hear out the other side. But in the end, it was truly Valos, the goddess of wisdom, that heard out the other side. It came to light that she had been working for a long time. In fact, the entirety of the Oath of Peace to try to spread peace between the races, trying to share knowledge, whether it be in technology or even as simple as poetry, to try to get the sides to know each other, to understand each other, to have a common ground. And that this truly, if anything, is the penultimate outcome of years worth of effort. But in the end, it was your words, your proposal, your persuasion that brought the Titan side onto the table. We're picking it back up in, well, the aftermath, the afterglow, if you will, of the proffering. That within the next week, you guys were to decide whether you would get the support that you need in order to have Astorian and Metrosian forces march and sail on the city of Eresia, to lay siege to it, to convince or force Queen Helen to step down and turn the city of Eresia into a Titan-abiding city. Light of Thylea, you done did it. But it's not over yet. As you all look at each other afterwards, Vulcan nods with a big smile towards you, Rotus, as he says, "Listen, boy. Words are all good. But when things don't go the way they're supposed to, he kind of winks and nods with his chin towards the great blade that now is in your possession. A blade that has the power of the gods contained within it. It has 2 small slivers of sparks from both him and Kyra. He says, I trust that you will know what to do. You are the future of Thylea and the gods.
I'll, reach up and just sort of put my hand on the haft of the sword and say, I'd prefer to not have to use it. I pray that we are making the right decision.
I hope that you will get to use it. I put a lot of work into this. I'm just to point it out. Valis kind of puts a hand on his shoulder as well. Yes,
well,
Father,
we do.
I'm sure.
We do have a titan and a dragon that we plan to slay before all is said and done. So,
Rodus, make me an insight check. You see a little bit of a look pass between Valis and Vulcan.
you said insight. Sorry, I'm reloading.
Reloading. Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum.
So, nice. 2.
Apropos. Yeah, you can tell that there's that gleam in Vulcan's eye, and you're just like, yeah, I'm gonna use that sword. Whatever it might be, there's that little bit of a look and a little bit of a hesitation as Vulcan then finally says, listen, I need to go back to work. There's a lot that I need to do, and well, the Oath of Peace is going to come to an end one way or another, so I'm going to go now. If you need anything, you know where to find me. Oh, and by the way, we repaired the docking in the bottom of the mine, so if you ever want to bring the Ultros around, just aim for that.
much easier. No swimming this time.
No swimming this time. Right, well, good luck. And with a supersonic boom, the dwarf god just takes off into the air, kicking off a bunch of the sand as it flies around you.
Rhoda shakes his head in jealousy. Gotta learn how to do that.
It's over.
Flying with
You don't know how to
dragons.
fly?
We're still at the closing.
Rhodas can't fly?
I got a spell.
I
For that.
am the only SMR that can't fly. Flying with wings, period, lane. I need Dragon Ball Z flying. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Maybe one day. What do the rest of you guys do? As you see some conversing going on between Acastus and Peter's daughter as they're having clearly some kind of a conversation about what's happening between the two cities, trade and whatnot, and everything that has been going on, just generally speaking. As everyone sits in stunned silence, trying to remember what it means to play D&D, the characters look at each other with quizzical question marks in their eyes.
So we should write out everything that we're going to oath, right? I already have a list kind of prepared, for them, so that we can make sure it's all good and documented.
Well, you are our resident oath expert, so we would come to you for that kind of
keeper.
Yeah,
expertise.
Yeah. I consider myself an expert in oaths. I like making them. They're fun. They're good. But yeah,
Name every oath that we're under right now.
Carissa will make a check. Alex will make a check.
Alex pulls up his spreadsheet on his other screen.
It's just this in game. It's just like this massive scroll.
But
So
I
that is
think that went well. Yeah.
You realize that that's legitimately the most power probably any of us have ever seen collected in any one place at one time.
And it's because we were there.
Ha! Yeah, we were. I don't think our power even. It's statistically insignificant in that collection of.
We held our own.
Yeah. Yeah.
We gave them the hard negotiating tactics. That was the strategy.
Yeah, boy, you sure came out
Yeah.
swinging hard.
You did. You
Yeah.
sure did, Otis. Mhm.
I just Rotus.
Hey, sometimes you just have to lay down and be like, "This is what's happening," right? Like it's boom, and then you get the hard stuff out of the way, and then everything else just kind of falls into place.
Why
think we-
sugarcoat it?
Yeah, I think it was a good strategy, Rotus. It was good.
It's not like we weren't going to have to tell them that we need to kill Thylea.
Yeah, like.
It's maybe not the first thing we say is
Yeah, I think it's.
we're
fine.
going to kill your wife. You know?
You know what? The past is in the past, and it worked, and
did,
we
it
made it through that part.
As you guys talk about that, I will say Enora kind of turns towards you and she says, "Are you serious about this? I thought that was just a bluff."
No,
Oh no, we absolutely have to kill Lutheria.
We're gonna go kill the dragon first, right? And then probably after that Lutheria, right? It might be like another stop or two in between there, but
But you're going
we'll
to...
see.
If you die in the Nether Sea, what happens to your soul?
You know
Comes
what?
back up
We'll
here.
cross that bridge when we get to it.
No,
You know,
I
have
think
a
we should cross that
short
bridge. I
trip?
think it's a good bridge. We should walk over that bridge and really consider.
We
that
should
bridge.
build a
On the other side of
bridge
that bridge.
over the Nether Sea and
Well,
then
I
jump
don't-
into the Nether Sea.
Do you think if we tie ropes from here, to the Nether Sea, you guys could just pull us out?
I don't think that that's how...
works that way.
Wouldn't the rope be attached around your corpse at that point and your soul would be untethered? Yes?
Yeah. That also brings another question. Is the Nether Sea actually a sea? Because I've never been there.
What did I see when I was there?
Yeah,
I don't
as a super massive sea. It's a literal sea, except what is weird about it is you see these cascading, almost like waterfalls of souls that cascade into it, and you can see that there's just millions and millions of souls that seem to, or not millions, but thousands and thousands of souls that kind of cascade down into a literal sea.
So yeah, it is.
It will be fine.
Yeah. I'll go talk to the Fates and I'll be like, "Hey, we're going to the Nether Sea. If we die, just don't
Okay.
cut the thread, then we don't die."
So,
That's
I think
surely they could just not do that.
I'm sure
I
he'll go
think
along
I-
with that.
I think I could
Sorry.
speak to the fates and maybe make a spell, where if we are all about to die, maybe they can just take us back there. But I think we'd have to go to the Isle of the Fates. But that would be, good.
I mean, does
In
it have
case
to be the
we want
island
to
of the
do that.
Fates that we have to go to, or can you do it to
Well,
here?
I think it would have to be somewhere very sacred to the Fates. And I don't know, is there somewhere like that here?
The Fates do not have an official temple within Mitros. There are some that just passively worship them, but y'all are level 11 now. You guys are
should
the Light of
work on that.
Thylea and have a significant amount of fame to your name. You could start a Temple of the Fates if you really want to.
Erect a Temple of the Fates right now, immediately today.
We should have our own island,
We should have our
a
own
home
island.
base, Syndrome style
Who?
from the Incredible.
I know.
Sorry. Speaking out of character for a second too, when you guys were talking we're going
Just
on
for
a
that
trip,
last little bit of it.
the father and me is just when you guys were talking about we're going on a trip in our favorite dryad trip, going through this. Anyways, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Bye.
Sorry for all of
Bye.
you fathers out there.
See you
You
later.
understand.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah.
I think it would probably have to be an established place, for it to work 100% for sure. But
Well, we have a week, right? What do we want to do?
I mean, we could go. We could just go to the Island of the Fates after the Sidon thing, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but I mean, we have a week to kill. I mean, Anora and Acastus, are you guys going to like prep your armies like for the week and stuff like that? And I mean, obviously, you know, I think we were planning on like a 30-day like kind of buffer for you guys to get you know your armies ready and stuff like that. Is that going to be like long enough?
That's you, David.
Okay,
That's you.
ask it one more time because I tried to be
Yes.
I tried to be real clever on stream and thinking that I shout out. Whoops. Say that maybe one more time, just in case your DM might have hypothetically missed just part of that.
Turns out we're also the NPCs now.
I mean, you guys tell the story.
Sure.
I'm really just listening.
I've
now.
got this one, David. Don't worry about
fine.
it. Yeah. No, our armies are definitely going to be ready. We don't even need 30 days. Technically, we could do it in 5 days. So whenever you guys are ready, we are set.
We
So
want the 30
I'll
days.
be a Castus.
The question.
We have dragons and soldiers and
So the question is, how quickly can you guys mobilize and ready the army? Is that the question?
No, we asked if 30 days would be enough.
To Acastus?
Yeah,
And
to
Anora.
Anador.
Yeah. They both and Valis. Don't forget, she's also queen. What you'll get from all three of them, I'll kind of combine this down, is that yes, indeed both of the cities are actually incredibly war ready, incidentally, because they both have been preparing for Sidon's forces to come crush their gates in, right? There has been word of 100+ ships of Sidon's fleet on Mitrosian's docks shores, and on the flip side you have, of course, the hordes, the centaur steppe soldiers that have been just camping up for months up on the northern steppes leading into the valley that Astoria is in. So they have been preparing for war for a very long time. What Anora will say as an addition is, though, I think it's going to be a very hard sell for my father to allow this troop movement. I will have to be honest. Seeing him here today, I think I'm not sure if this is going to be possible. Valis and Acastus look at each other, and you can see the love and respect in Acastus's eyes for Valis in a way. A thing that Valis doesn't actually seem to really reflect back onto. Like, have you guys ever seen a couple where you can tell like one person is definitely more into the relationship than the other? It's kind of the vibe that you guys are getting. You don't even have to make an insight check. And Valis just kind of like considers him and thinks deeply. You are able to just kind of gather that she is this master. She's this chess master, this master tactician that has been thinking about these moves for 5 centuries, and this is the most key moment in her entire strat, right? So it's coming to a point where things are incredibly important. As Acastus goes, so what do you think, my love? I believe that we need to send the troops. Arisia has been a thorn in our sides for a long time. Well, that also means that you will need to know of something else, and you can see that Acastus kind of furrows his brow in a way that it doesn't really know what she's talking about there. We can talk about this in the palace after, just us, but yes, as the queen of Mitros, I believe we should send our troops and your dragons to fortify our siege against Arisia, stamp them out, and give the people there a choice. Or, if they choose against staying, make Arisia a place where the Fae can enjoy the civilization that was stolen from them.
And I think that's perfectly fair. But I think we are going to need both armies. Is there anything that you guys can do to convince Peter?
Acastus just kind of goes, he is a god. I have dragons, but they're not gods. Kind of looks towards Valis. Valis goes, I'll talk to him. I don't know how to explain this beyond what you already know, and I don't want to repeat myself. Tell you something that you already know. Peter has been waiting for this moment, probably more than me. He wants to bash schools. He wants to make sure that people are going to feel his wrath once more.
I mean, he could do that, just in a different,
Maybe we should unpack that. Maybe we should work on that.
Listen, I have suggested to him many a time that he speak to priests, but he usually is more interested in speaking to the priestesses, and that usually devolves, if you can imagine.
We should probably unpack that too. There's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rotus. I know that's your dad. Sorry.
It's okay.
What is going, sorry, out of character again, what is going through Rotus's head in terms of the display? It was
Like how angry he was?
He literally
It wasn't a
flipped
good
a
look.
table.
It wasn't a good
Literally
look.
flipped a table.
Yeah.
The next week.
I think I was glad Honora was there, also like still representing Astoria. I think that internally Rotus is struggling with like it's starting to feel like it's more like he's serving like it really feels like we're serving the fates instead of the gods or the titans. Like it's more like the fates are our sort of guides and confidants, and I guess he I think he's struggling with that like change in identity. Like he's obviously someone who like has worshipped Peter in a lot of different ways as like a father figure and as a deity, you know. It's hard. It's like never meet your heroes, you know. Obviously, like, but that's sort of how it always has been. It's not new.
Yeah. I will do what I can, Valo says. And listen, there's more stuff that I need to do here. We'll get the troops ready. Augustus, I trust you can handle your Dragonlords? Yes, of course, man. Good. Meet me in the palace in an hour, yes? To the rest of you.
I do have a crazy idea. What if like Anor or Rotus like became like the official king or queen of their home city, and then like Peter just takes like a step down, right? And then boom, like they could lead the city, and then he doesn't get really a say in the army, but he can like still like be in the army and smash skulls and stuff like that. But like they're the actual leaders.
I don't want to be there when he screams all the skin off your bones for suggesting it.
Well, that's why I said a tier.
There
You think
is
he can actually do that?
an importance to it. I think we do need to consider that when the oath comes to an end, that we have established who may take stewardship of the cities in case any of us die. Cassis kind of looks taken aback, and Nora seems to be very intently listening now. You can tell that she's definitely played the game of politics long enough that doesn't like shock her to her core. Of course, if I were to die, then Augustus, you would be once again sole reign monarch, thank you, of Mitros. I do believe that between the two of you, and I mean no disrespect to you, Rotus, Honora has the better claim to Astoria.
It's not something I would attempt to claim for myself.
I just don't want to have some kind of a war that breaks out between the two of you because of bad blood. And she's giving Honora actually a long, hard look there, kind of trying to suss her out. She goes, I will admit that yes, I do also believe that I have the better claim here, but I would not want to wage war against one of the light. Good. I am glad to hear it. In case Anora falls, however, for whatever reason, Protus, would you be willing to take up the wreath, the crown? Would you be willing to become king?
That responsibility would have fallen to me. I'm sure my fiance wouldn't mind the title of queen.
By right of blood, I believe you would have the best claim. So yes. After Anora, of course.
Okay. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. We all know that Pithor, since he hasn't been able to make war, has been making love. Let's just say it. A lot.
A lot of love, a lot of thunder, yes.
What's to keep any of these others from showing up and being like, yo, it's mine?
The fact that he is Light of Thylea. And Anora, of course, has been already reigning effectively over Astoria. Oh, stop acting so shy. I've been watching you. Been doing a good job. And of course, the noble men and women of Astoria would be much more easily assuaged to having Rotus become the person to take the title. Now, I don't know. No. Yes, I think that would be the best way. Of course,
I would not mind if someone were to come up and take this responsibility from me.
You can always abdicate, of course.
To Yanni's point, if another were to step forward.
I suppose the only other one I can think of would be Daphne at that point. Vulcan has been taking a liking
Rotus
to
thinks
her.
of his half-brother that's working at the Siren's Roost right now.
She's definitely
Whoops.
not.
Whoops.
Should I? Well, maybe
Whoops.
could recommend him.
From rags to riches. There are so many of them, so I don't know. I also don't want to start a war of the bastards, but...
It's not a war I would fight. So I don't
Which
believe it's something
you
we
could
have to
maybe
fear.
avoid by at least protect Anora. Make sure that she becomes queen. If for some reason we do end up having to fight the Titans toe to toe when the oath comes to an end. Okay?
That would be my preference as well. And I'm sure hers. No, not it.
And she also kind of like just slowly nods, trying to like keep her royalty. Which brings up a different point. Acastus, we don't have children. We can talk about it. Yes. Where are you going with this? Well, cannot think of any good nobleman or woman that is left in Mitros who would be better suited than any of you to lead the city if the two of us fall. We are not going to die. We have dragons, and we have you, and we have the light now. There is a chance that we die. Titans, if for some reason this alliance falls apart, have set their sights on us. Utheria's scythe wants to cut my head off. Sidon's glaive has already tasted Paris blood. You 5. Oh, Brisa, I think you need to take care of Sila. Your dragon is kind of going crazy in the background there. Oh, I think one of the guards is kind of reining her in. Okay. So if we die, now our divine powers are suppressed by the Titans. We do not come back. We're dead for good. Who of you would be willing to step up to potentially lead the people of Mitros in what would undoubtedly be one of the darkest hours that it has ever experienced?
Bristle will raise her hand.
No, leading a city is more than just making a bunch of oaths willy-nilly, right?
Yes, I know that. I know. They're obviously, I would get advisors, right? You know, I don't know a thing about sewage and stuff like that, so I'd talk to a sewage advisor instead. Yes, I understand.
Your priority is the sewer system.
I was
Listen,
just an
sewage is
example.
extremely important when it comes to city management. You never think about it. That's exactly the point.
Yeah, clean water. Yeah, like you got to have clean water for people.
You do, yes.
Otherwise, you get the plague.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
when the city
Exactly.
dies, you have nothing to manage. It's terrible. Is that unanimous from the entire light? That out of the 5 of you, you would want to have Brisa become the queen. Mitros.
I mean,
Any
I
last
don't want
reservations?
to do it.
Can you think of
Yeah.
someone else who could do it? Someone who's not of the light? If you have reservations, Yanni.
I mean, my concern is, we're probably not, any of us, really ready to settle down.
You thought that I was ready to settle down. To settle. And you can see the arrow fly from her mouth and directly cast Castus's heart. This is a responsibility that you have to take on, Yanni. All of you. I know that it is unfair, I get it. Being the subjects of a prophecy that envelops the entire world. Of course it's not easy. Of course it's not what you would have wanted for yourself. Of course you would have rather, I don't know, gone around drinking or inventing spells in your own reclusive tower. Whatever it could have been, Yanni. But that is not what is. There's no sense in wishing for a different life. This is the life that you have to claim for yourself. Or you will forever be out of control.
What if we just make like a list? So obviously, top of the list, Brissa. Brissa one would be the queen if you die. Then, if Brissa dies, we'll put Yanni, and then
Whoa. No.
Okay, we'll put Estrella, and then if Estrella dies,
No.
I don't think you can like tell people that they're going to do it, right? I think it has to be voluntary.
I think Brisa is a perfect choice.
right? But what if Brissa? This whole thing is there's a chance that all of us will die.
Well, we just keep Brisa alive, you know?
I'm not going to die.
All the more reason. She's not
Brissa's
gonna die.
52-minute mark, everyone. 52-minute mark on episode 63. I'm not going to die.
Oh, shit balls.
well, now you've done it. Well, we should probably start listing other people because now
Again.
we're all gonna die.
She pulls out this little black book. It says Death Note on it. You don't really know what that's all about.
I
to
make a
be
note.
fair,
Follow
Brissa's
Brisa
already
around
died.
all battlefields.
Worst meeting minutes ever.
Death word on Brisa at all times. Thank you.
Brissa has already died once. Rhodus has also died technically, didn't you?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yanni died.
Yeah. Well,
Hmm. I think you and I are the only ones that haven't already died.
go get a 500 gold piece diamond before you leave Mitros, so you can raise the dead. Thank you. That was a good point. Yep.
Yeah. I think it'll be fine. We'll be good. We'll be good.
Listen, we're not going to manifest anything happening to Brisa. She is our choice, the only choice. So it must happen that way.
All
Or
right.
to Acastus, or to Valis,
Right.
or to Honora, or to Peter. You know, we're
All
all
right.
going to be fine, right? We're going to go to this war. We're just going to burn their city down. Well, obviously, let not, not give them a chance first, but
We can hold our own. Strong. I just like to think ahead. Have contingencies in place if it comes to pass.
If Brissa dies, I'll do it, but only if Brissa dies.
She kind of squints her eyes at you, and you can see, you know, the Devil's Bard kind of working in the back of her head, and you can see her thinking, "Are you saying you're gonna kill Brissa so that you can become queen?" But then she kind of passes, like, "No, of course not." You can see that, like, in that split second, kind of splay across her face.
How dare she?
Like Estrella might have, like, I'm one of those two. It's like, don't read her thoughts. Don't read her thoughts. Don't read her thoughts. Don't read her thoughts.
Actively trying
You
to
trust her.
restrain.
You love Lyra.
Lyra would kill everyone before she kills Brissa.
Thanks.
And Nora goes, "All right, if we're done talking about us dying, then
Yeah, this is real gloomy. We should like
Yeah.
celebrate.
something.
We just did some real high tier patriarchy, monarchy, government, political shit. We should have a party.
Agreed. Also, my transport back home left, so I am at your leisure." Valos goes, "Yes, I'll get you back home later, child. Why don't you all do your celebrating, have some late lunch or something? But before dinner, come back by the palace. There is something that I do need to talk about with you."
Okay.
You got it.
Right. With that, Valis takes off. And Nora kind of starts walking with you guys as Acastus also starts to slowly lead you away and kind of like walk down the Colosseum steps back down towards the city of Mitros itself. Acastus kind of sidles up next to you, Briss, and says, "It is kind of ironic, isn't it? That the girl who is potentially going to be one of the greatest Dragonlords of all time would be my heir."
You're muted, Alex.
Oh, I was. I guess I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing at the end, right? You'd have to have that, line of succession, right? It's just.
I need to get something off my chest.
Okay.
And you're not going to like me for this, but I hope you can understand my motivation and the momentary weakness that I felt. When I sent you to recover the Ultros, I knew that Estor's spirit must have been attached to it. Seers, priests, and wizards had tried to commune with the afterlife, and there was no sign that he was there, so I made my own assumptions. It is not my proudest moment. It is because I was worried about the mob mentality that might flow from this. I was worried about the influence that this prophesied group of heroes would have upon Thylea, and that without proper guidance you would lead us down a path of self-destruction. I was wrong. I just want to say this, and I want to apologize. For I sent you there in hopes that you may not return. This was unkind of me. This was something that will be my greatest regret in life. I am sorry.
Well, nothing bad came of it, and all is forgiven. And then she'll give him a side hug, I guess.
And he kind of like, for a second, just kind of considers you as you're giving him that side hug. And he actually puts his arm around you. And for a split second there, Brissa, it's been some months now. And the relationship that you've had with your dad has been always a little fraught anyway, due to your fascination with all things dragons and Dragonlords. Something that your father actively not just chastised, but ultimately ostracized you for. as Acastus reciprocates the hug, kind of pulls you in close. What is going through Brissa's head there?
I mean, more that, like, she's just happy that everything worked out. She's not really thinking about that or anything, like along the lines of, she's just happy everything worked out. And, but she's not really thinking about Castus's actions. Like, people make mistakes, so it's, she understands. And he was looking out for the best of the kingdom, and, he thought we might have fucked things up, and so, made a mistake, and he made that judgment call, but, she's not going to hold him. It's not like he, held a blade to their throats or something like that, so she's not going to hold him to it.
As Tyler would say, lots to unpack there. If Valos is okay with it, and I don't want to tread on you, but maybe we should make this official. She's right, I have no children. I could certainly father another child, but I don't know. It seems a little late. What if... and forgive my rash way of asking. What if we were to adopt you, Brissa? You become an official Arcalander.
I'd be okay with that. I like that idea. That sounds nice.
I'll talk to Valos. I think that would be nice indeed. I think I would like that.
I think I would like that as well.
Now, as they're having a conversation,
Dude, I'm dying.
Anora kind of comes up towards you, Rhodas, and says, speaking of, so you're going to go through with this wedding, huh? You oathed it?
We needed the money.
You are a damn whore. Why would you do that? Seriously, you sold your body. Not just your body, you sold your future. There's so much that you could have. The choices. At least, okay. I'm not going to go.
I've never been a romantic, Anora.
Oh man, it's not about being romantic. It is about the political leverage that you could have with it. You sold your goddamn dick and the power attached to it for what? 500 gold pieces?
And we still lost.
Ugh.
That man, he saw something in me.
Is it really daddy issues? Is that it? Do you just need approval from some kind of a father figure?
He told me he believed in me and that I was gonna do well.
Rhodes, no. Oh, brother, are you serious? Kind of looks towards Estrella and Lyra.
And Corinna is pretty cute.
I
could certainly do worse.
I will say this, as far as political clout goes, at least you could have done worse. But he's going to try to control you. You know that, right? In every way, every decision that you make.
Hasn't been going well so far.
Well, at least you can try to leverage this. He is the richest man in Astoria. As such, he pays the most taxes. As such, he has quite a bit of say when it comes to things that are militarily inclined in Astoria. If you are serious, if you think that we are not just taking off the breastplate so that the centaurs can drive a spear through us, if you think that the Titans are serious about this, then maybe you can use that. Try to think with this head, not with the little one, okay? Ay, Rotus. If you need help, come on, just ask anyone, literally anyone else. The little one, he seems to have a pretty good head on. This one can at least talk that way. Kind of pause towards Lyra.
You recommend we ask him for financial support?
For political pressure.
Invasion.
Because our father, yes, he's the king of Astoria, but do you know how many days he actually held court last year? 3! 3 days. And you know what he did? He drank the entire time. He got sick and tired of people, and he got wasted. And what he did then was just to make fun of them. He said, this is better than an actual roast. What kind of a king is this? Huh? So yes.
A true man of the people.
Ah, yeah. Listen, the nobility are the people who run Astoria. And they're the ones who truly, and I mean truly, run things. Until I came of age, the nobility essentially had stripped Peter of any kind of power that he had anyways. I was able to slowly massage these powers back into our hands, but we're still nowhere near the power that Alus and Agastus have here in Mitros. So, what I'm telling you is, use these men to gain power in Astoria for us. If we want these troops, if we actually think this is the best way for Astoria, I will back you. I have contacts there as well, but he has the loudest, most influential voice in all of Astor. So you go ahead. Use that little prick. You be nice to Corinna. She's kind of like you, actually. She's not particularly smart. I'm sorry, Corinna. I know that you could hear me talking. But she has a good heart. She wants the best for Astoria, and I know that you do too. But for those of us that have played this game for a long time, I have to tell you, whatever price you have to give to her father, be smart about it. We cannot sell the palace these forces. Though she thinks for a second. And Yanni, are you overhearing this too? Or are you kind of listening in? There's a thought that occurs to you when she says that. You know, from a... Oh, so welcome to the Political Science Podcast that David apparently has made this campaign. There's a momentary thought that occurs to you due to the fact that you grew up on the streets. So, you know, monarchy and things like nobility and stuff like that kind of, you know, were always something that is very far away. People that just kind of like rained down upon the others. It seems like she is essentially describing something akin to a parliament anyway. And it seems like they're already in some kind of a weird, prototypical parliamentary monarchy state anyway. Depending on how these negotiations go, it sounds like to Yanni, as you quickly put those pieces together, that maybe Corinna's dad might ask for the complete dismantling of the monarchy altogether. Or, and this is what you think to yourself, is if he was extremely smart, you'd request that he becomes the king instead. And as far as Peter has shown so far, the god doesn't really have what it takes to reign. So, if you were a noble person in Astoria, you would think to yourself, maybe it would be better to back the richest man in Astoria, who clearly knows how to run things, than a god who all he does is roast people who try to come to him for judgment. Rhodas doesn't think of any of that. He's just thinking about daddy, clouds, and little hearts. No, I'm just kidding.
Rhodas doesn't think that. I think Rhodas is probably overconfident in his ability to not be manipulated by politicians.
Makes sense. Yanni, do you say anything along those lines, or do you just kind of keep that to yourself for now?
Princess, do you think it's possible that Rhodas's sugar daddy or some of the other powerful nobles might try to take power for themselves?
Of course.
Either...
Of course, yes. It's what I have fought ever since I was old enough to not be laughed at or asked to bring another glass of wine by the people that were there. Yes, it is something that I have traded a lot of favors for. Some intricate web that I've spun in Astoria. I've held on to our monarchy with bare hands.
Do you think Rhodus marrying into his family could give him some legitimacy to some kind of claim?
I don't know about claim, but well, I guess maybe. It would presuppose a lot of things. That Peter is not there, that I'm somehow out of the picture, that then of course Rotus would become king, which then would make Corinna queen, and by default he would be then related to the throne. But then Rotus would have to disappear, and somehow he would have to step in for his daughter, or at least run things from the shadows. My guess is, and this is how he usually operates, he would want to control things from the sidelines anyway, so he would be more than happy to have a puppet standing on the stage dancing while he actually pulls the strings. Anyway, something to think about. I just wanted to make sure that we were on the same page about this, Rotus. We cannot simply give up Astoria. It is rightfully ours. Even if you have no interest in the throne, it is my birthright. I grew up in Astoria. I made sure that Astoria did not decline. That is my work. I deserve it. And I will not even let you get in the way of that. I don't care how strong you are. I don't care how confident you are. I don't care how much you look like father. It's my right.
I have no desire to take that from you.
Good.
And I would much prefer to see it go to one of your own offspring than myself.
Also good. I'd like you to be a good uncle to them.
Unlikely.
I mean, agreed on this, I suppose. She kind of gives you a wink. Now, as they're having their conversation, Estrella and Lyra, you guys are kind of walking side by side, separated from everyone else. The thing that Rhodus, or I shouldn't say Rhodus, but Brian has said about Rhodus' thoughts in regards to the Fates, that is certainly something that would have occurred to your characters at one point or another. You may have kind of realized how much of a influence the Fates have had, not just on, you know, yeah, sure, on a macro level, Thylea as a whole, but on a micro level, on all of your lives. The revelations that they've made so far, you know, that Yanni apparently had been spared but transformed by the hags. That when Brissa and Lyra's most painful moments happen in their lives, they were there, again, trying to pull the strings to avert catastrophe, or maybe even bringing catastrophe. And for you, Estrella, of course, it has been almost an abdication of your birthright to become a priestess of the Fates, using their incredible powers to do what you hope is right for Thylea. As you guys kind of walk there in silence next to each other, you can decide whether you talk about this or if it's just a conversation you kind of have with yourselves in your own heads. But how do you two, Estrella and Lyra, feel about this? What do you think the characters are thinking?
I think Lyra has constantly had a thought in the back of her head ever since we started talking about having this peace summit, that when we went to the Fates to ask them for help, one of their main requests for offering help was that we bring them Sidon. That was like the one thing that they wanted, was for us to kill Sidon and basically bring him to the Fates. So she's kind of had that in the back of her mind since we started talking about not killing Sidon, but just kind of repressed it because she does think that this is the better option. But but she definitely needs to talk to them again at some point. I don't think she's really seen it on a mass scale of them like influencing everything. Like she knows they had a part in her not dying, that they had a part in Yanni being what he is now. And like obviously she's, you know, been under their whatever you want to call it for a while now. But I don't think she's really thought that they were the overarching force behind everything that's happened to them this whole time. Like, have they been there? Sure. If they weren't there, Lyra would have been able to do nothing that she's done so far. But I think that we have all had a part in how everything has played out on our own right, with our own powers and influences and backers.
Like and
Pretty much
subscribe.
it.
No, I'm just kidding. It's true. Estrella. You can maybe kind of looking over. I mean, you have an incredible passive insight anyway, but you look over, you can see that this is something is turmoiling inside of Lyra. What's going on in your own head?
What is it that troubles you, Lyra?
Nice.
Is
Did
it
you
what
see?
Rodi?
Did you see what Marissa did there? I was like, "What's going on in your head?" So Lyra, that was genius. Did you guys just witness that? I just wanted to point that out. Fantastic. This is high level play. Straight up. As you ask that to Lyra, what do you respond to Lyra?
A lot is troubling me right now. And I actually would like to ask you a favor.
Of course.
When we get back to the palace and we have a moment of reprieve from the chaos that is our lives currently, could you scry on Gaius for me and see if he is still dead, hopefully? Something that Lutheria's daughter said just rubs me the wrong way about Gaius and his whereabouts.
It does seem like they were very close. Sure, that's a very good idea. What else troubles you?
Oh God. Well, we're about to murder a whole civilization if we can't get them to leave their homes. You know, we had this peace summit, but we basically now it's the follow through, which is also equally stressful. And you know, just worried about a whole lot.
I saw your face when Rotis said the fates have pulled the strings. It was also shocking to me. I had not considered that.
Not to retcon something, I just never said it out loud.
Yeah,
he was just
thinking
thinking
in
it.
his
Shoot.
head. That was just
So
Okay.
it's definitely not something I would have said out loud.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he knows better. He knows
Oh.
better.
Brian is like, yeah, I'm not gonna stare at that.
Well, never. I didn't say that then, for sure.
You guys are catching these meta pigeons left and
Yeah. Suddenly Estrella has gift of gab.
right. Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm just worried about what the Fates will think when we tell them that we're not going to kill Sidon.
Right. You know, I'm still not sure why they want that.
And surely they would know that this was on, the options was us not killing him. I mean, they know everything, so surely they saw this being a potential outcome.
Perhaps
So
it was a
hopefully,
very small percent chance that it could.
yeah,
So
they
it
were
did-
like, oh, these guys that have killed everything else in their path, surely
Mhm.
they're just going to,
Probably.
but
Do you think?
maybe not.
Do you think that either Terios or Chelsea will tell Luteria?
That's her name. Thanks, I forgot her name.
So many NPCs. Oh my god.
I don't think Talieos will. I think Sidon scolded him pretty hard back there for voicing his opinion. But I would not put it past Chelsea to tell her mom that we mentioned that we were going to probably have to kill her.
I don't think it was a probably. I think like it was pretty much like number one, we murder your wife and
Yeah. This is our list of things we need.
Here's
Number
the
1,
agenda,
let us kill
please.
your wife. Yeah.
See the PowerPoint. Number one,
Yeah.
murder of
It
your
was
loved one.
the
It's one of those
presentation
awkward
slide
transitions
for
where
our
it's just like-
PowerPoint.
A picture of Lutheria, and it's just like, nyeh,
Like
nyeh, nyeh.
Yeah. We led with
Mhm.
it. We came out pretty strong. I'm sure she probably will find out if she has not already, which means she'll also probably be paying us a visit at some point when we leave Mitros. So we should probably get ready for that.
I agree. I think at some point we should not now, we should go and have drinks and have fun because it's been a lot. But we should talk about like how we protect everyone. Didn't Rota seem really weird on the way back here until we got to Mitros? That's not good. He's sort of like, front lines. We need him really strong. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really think the only option that would keep anything from happening would be don't sleep, but we can't have a group full of people that haven't slept. That's that'll get real dicey real quick.
maybe Yanni knows. Maybe Yanni knows. Anyway.
Yeah. Maybe. No, I don't know. When you're in someone's dreams, it seems real hard to avoid. So.
Also,
we'll
do
have
you
to-
want to be queen here? Because I kind of always thought you would take over the lead fate role.
That
some
is
point?
literally the last thing I want to do. It just seemed like Valis wanted us to have a plan C to her plan B, and she seemed upset that Yanni wasn't taking the bait. So I figured I'd throw it out there.
It's a long conversation about her dying and who would take over.
Yeah,
huh?
it was a real downer right at the end of all the cool shit that we
Sorry.
had just done. It was like,
Maybe
wow,
one
we finally
character
did it.
cool.
And then she was like, let's talk about what happens if all of us die.
Yeah. Right.
Again,
Interesting.
when you had a former lawyer as a DM who, had to do wills, trusts, and estates, this is like the kind of conversation you'd have with your family. Okay, public service announcement. Have hard conversations with your family because shit is going to happen anyway. Soapbox over.
Yeah, Australia just doesn't like Valis.
I don't
That's
know.
all.
Next, Alice is going to ask me to be the one to pull the plug. And I don't know if I'll be able to do that.
Oh, I could do that. That I
Actually,
will
sign
agree
me up for
to.
that. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I could do that easily. So,
All right,
There
so
needs to be
Brissa
someone
is
doing that.
queen. I'll be, successor queen, and you'll be the life
living on a
support.
mountain, don't call, don't write. I've got goats and like a garden It's going to be really great.
Oh,
Oh,
that,
sorry.
yeah.
I mean, you could write, you know.
I could probably just come see you.
You could fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, that's pretty much it. Just, normal everyday existential dread. Just kind of par for the course for me, really.
I feel great. This was so great. It was great to see Tidon so level-headed. I felt like he was wonderful, was he not? He chided his children for being rude, and he kept his cool. I mean, I was impressed. I know I'm biased. I get it. But I'm just saying. Pretty cool character. That's Tidon.
Didn't he invite us over? Am I misremembering? Didn't he tell us to go there?
Yeah, let's go. Sounds like a plan. Did he?
Go ahead, Alex.
In a week, he did. We have to go to his tower in a week.
Oh, right.
Which is where the original Oath of Peace was signed.
Right. Going to the Tower of Praxis because that's where we're signing the oath. Now I remember. Sorry, that conversation feels like it happened years ago, honestly.
I'm gonna take Lyra's hand and I'm gonna say, come on, let's go get drinks.
Yeah, I'm down for that. Yeah.
Alrighty. Light of Thylea, where would you guys like to get drinks?
I can think of only one place.
I hope it's the same place I'm thinking of.
Or is it the brothel?
The Siren's Roost? Absolutely.
Okay,
Alrighty, you guys
okay.
went to the Siren's Roast. That's good. Alrighty, you guys see the familiar faces. Ambrosia certainly gives you guys all a look.
Loves us.
She gives you the longest look, Estrella, but it seems like at this point, maybe they were able to kind of like smooth things over enough that, it's fine. It's fine. You guys are seated, and people are actually starting to talk when they see not just the Light of Thylea, but also Cassis came with you. Valis excused herself and kind of split off for the palace. But then also, of course, Princess Honora show up. So you have this retinue. It's like the royal family just suddenly goes into this dive bar. It's actually a very nice brothel, okay? But that's at least what it
An
shows.
upscale.
Exactly.
Or
It's very nice. They use real satin. But as they head in there, you see your brother Callistor kind of come over, and he's just like, "Oh, well, it's been a long time since I last saw you here. What are you doing?"
We're here to celebrate.
All right.
We've had a successful rendezvous with Sidon, and we're optimistic about how things look.
Hold up, are you telling me that you met the god of storms, Sidon?
And his...
He's a
And
Titan,
his-
actually. Hi.
Hey, long time no
That's
see.
not even the first time we met him.
It might be the first time that Rhodus has been face-to-face in person. I know that he, presented himself when we were,
Yeah,
in the,
yeah.
underwater
In the cave.
Yeah,
But it was, I think that was more like a projection or something.
True,
Yeah.
true.
It wasn't
You're right.
actual Sidon. Yes, this was actual Sidon.
You're right.
He is certainly a presence to behold. He brought his daughter and son as well.
Okay. Wait. They have children?
Yeah, hot children.
Probably more than he
Of
brought.
course they do. Everyone has to be hot.
The rules of the world, man.
So what? We're good? The oath is gonna stay?
Something
Not
like that.
exactly.
There's a couple things
come
we have
on,
to
don't
do.
be coy.
There's a couple things we have to do, but
Okay, tell me. Listen, I promise you. Don't tell anyone else. Tell me.
I think we should wait until after everything is set in stone.
Bruce,
But
I'm going to
it-
strangle
it's
your
not-
beautiful neck. Just tell me.
We haven't signed it yet, so
Yes, yeah.
perhaps after the ink is dry.
yeah, we'll wait until it's
Do
set.
I need to get out of Mitros now or not? There's some,
Oh,
there's
no,
some
you're
things I
good.
need to sell if I...
No,
No,
not right
no.
now, because
No.
right now we need to drink.
All right.
There is going to be peace. That is what we've agreed upon.
Fine. I won't push the issue anymore. I'll leave it there.
Okay, and then
Okay, it's Titaness.
if at any point in the night Rotus gets the opportunity, he will tell him like, "Don't take vacation to Aresia, okay?"
Don't go visit Aresia.
He just goes, okay. Like, we'll kind of end on the scene of like Calistar kind of just turning towards you straight after you had corrected him. He goes, all right, Titaness, what's your poison of choice? On me.
That's such a great question. I don't know anything about alcohol, I feel like.
You come with me. I'm going to teach you everything tonight.
Perfect. I grab Lyra's hand. And Yanni's.
Right. Oh god, okay.
And then
Fuck you, Brissa. Fuck you, Rotus. The rest of you guys.
no! Brisa, come on!
Too many hands.
Yeah, I don't have any more
Suddenly
hands.
it's Trey. I just grows.
I go
a
2
full
more
gang
hands.
instead
Brisa
of
hears in her head.
arms.
Come on, Brisa!
As you guys drink and make merry over the next hour, people are cheering towards you. As you know, Calistar kind of asked in the beginning, some people were certainly overhearing, and there's more and more whispers that are starting to kind of start up. What? The oath is going to continue? They met with Sidon? And, you know, people are coming up to you and ask questions, so you guys wave them off, you know, with a big smile and whatever. Yeah, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. During one of these, like, moments, Rotus, you kind of lean into Calistar, kind of telling him, like, oh, what? And
Yeah.
the next hour passes by. As you guys have your drinks, have a pseudo feast presented towards you. You do remember that you're supposed to meet up with Queen Valis, and Acastus is going to obviously walk with you guys, and Princess Honora has no other choice. As you guys head back towards the palace, Calistar just kind of grabs you, Rotus. Listen, I know we're not. I mean, we're real brothers, but we didn't grow up together. But this doesn't mean anything. Forget it. I said anything.
No, you can't do that to me.
I mean, listen, like this is emotional stuff I'm not good at. This is gonna sound cheesy. Listen, okay, I'm proud of you. Okay, I don't know how to say it.
That means a lot coming from you.
I'm sure that you've got our daddy eating off your feet by now. Probably
He was actually
so proud of you.
He was very upset at our meeting, and I assume at the side I was taking. He left in quite a
Why?
violent way.
Was he drunk?
When is he not? He seemed sobered enough.
Oh, fuck him. Ah, that's right, father. Fuck you.
Oh no, Rhoda's like legit is like.
No, I'm just kidding. No, Calistar actually kind of like seems to puff up a little bit and says, "No, that is right. That is what I said. Praise be to Valos. Praise be to all of the four, but not to you. You're the biggest fuck up of our family.
Burn.
He would stay in the way of peace. Fuck him."
Yanni very obviously takes a sidestep, whatever direction gets him furthest away from the impact crater that's about to happen.
There's just a circle around Calistar and Rhodas.
I think that you should worship in whatever way you see fit. It's part of what we are fighting for.
Brother, the way I worship, I get paid a lot of good coin for.
I get it.
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh my god. Okay, on a roll of wisdom saving throw for Calistar.
I thought you were gonna teach her everything, Calistar.
I feel like everyone like kind of gave them a wide berth, and Estrella has no concept of what the problem might be, so she's just like walking, listening right next to them.
Calistar,
They're having a moment.
No privacy. What?
with this big
do you
shit-eating grin, and just this stupid charismatic little flash of a smile, turns towards you, Estrella, and goes, "I'll teach you everything tonight. On the house. You stay here."
I don't think we have time. We've got a lot to talk about.
There is...
We've got to talk about.
We'll have time. You make time tonight. Give me an hour.
All you really need is like 30 seconds.
Oh,
45
excuse me. Listen, you cannot work in this line of work if you do not know how to control. Anyway, we'll talk about it more. You're more
This line
than
of work
welcome
is all
to join
about
too, if you
turnover.
want.
It's all about turnover in a brothel.
No. Sometimes you can charge premiums. Anyway, you're more than welcome to join, but I think a one-on-one lesson would be warranted. I'll see you later tonight, Titaness. He kind of nods towards you, Astrea, as he turns back towards Rhodas, though, and he kind of like actually grabs you like in the back of the neck and pulls you close. And he's like a little bit shorter than you, but kind of like does the forehead to forehead thing, as he says. You did it. You son of a bitch. You did it. I'm proud of you. And wow, I've never been excited to be part of this family. You've changed that. Let's get the fuck out of here before I start, getting sheepy. You guys are wasting my time. I need to make coin. Get the fuck out. Come on.
I'll give him a big old pat on the back and turn away.
You don't have to drop it in that you're so big. God damn it. You guys head out.
I just whispered to Estrella, we are absolutely not coming back here tonight.
No, learning how to make drinks is a terrible waste of our time. No.
Good. I'm glad we're on the same page.
Of course.
And with that, you guys head back towards the palace. Acasta says his goodbyes and invites Enora to, see the palace grounds and see the dragons and whatnot. She kind of was like, okay, I can't do anything else, as she then walks off with him. You guys walk back towards, the planning room where you guys have seen Queen Valis many times before. As you guys step into the room, all of the Amazonian guards seem to kind of like nod towards Queen Valis, who clearly had already told him that when you guys show up, the rest of them were to leave. You guys walk in, and it's just you and the queen now. The goddess looks tired. Very. There are these deep circles under her eyes as she sighs deeply, turns towards you and says, It's hard. You never think that the day that you're working towards actually would come. It's funny, I thought that, well, let's just say that, for you mortals, when you're young, you feel like you can live forever. And then mortals get old and they realize that they are actually immortal. And that's when they really start to think about consequences of their actions. It's weird being divine and almost having a realization akin to this.
You're not pregnant, are you?
No. I've made sure of this.
Because you were all like, oh, there's something I need to tell you, and then instantly segued into, like, we don't have any heirs, and we need someone to take over, and I was real worried.
No. There's just a lot to plan, and a lot of things to make sure that are in place correctly by the time that the peace ends. The original peace. No, the reason that I asked you here is this is something that most living people, well, most living settler mortals simply don't know about. It is something that Vulcan, well, all of us really decided was to die, except for the people that have long memories. And those who have long memories understand why we made the decision that we did. There is another god. We have a brother. His name is Narsus, the god of beauty. And as far as we know, He resides in Arisia to this day. And that is where we're going to take a quick break. Brian, I'm so sorry that you went to the bathroom right before I said that it would be happening. But on that little bit of a cliffhanger, we're going to take a 5-10 minute break to go run to the bathroom real quick, get a little bit of the stress of the session offloaded, and then we'll delve right back in. All right, everyone. We'll see you guys shortly.